here at Shack News, we're all about the glamour and glitz. That's why every year we do a best headshots category. That's right, we're talking 8x10 glossy, black and white, showing off your range. No, we're talking getting your head blown off in video games here. We're not talking looking good on the camera. No, no, no. We're talking getting your brains splattered all over the place or splattering somebody's brains all over the place. And now this doesn't necessarily have to be like a one bullet, one kill headshot kind of thing. Doesn't even have to involve a gun. This is just basically what's the most satisfying murder weapon or weapon that you used in a video game this year. Which one has the best headshot? We got a few nominations in this category. Would anyone like to start it off?
I can talk about the Callisto Protocol, which I nominated for this. Headshots in that game are always very satisfying. We already talked about it for best score, but yeah, every time you shoot somebody in the head, there are a bunch of ways that their alien head or brain can be removed, and even your own character. Your head can also be become a pinata at several points throughout that game. So stands above the rest for me.
The headshot in Callisto Protocol gets better and better the more you upgrade yourself. Because like even the standard weapon in that game, the hand cannon Magnum that you start off with, you eventually unlock a mod for it that allows you to fire a shot that will explode on impact. And with the way that game is already in terms of the way that you can pick enemies apart, seeing that shot hit their like torso or neck area and then just blow pieces apart in every direction is absurd.
It's very gory, to say the least, which could factor in to your opinion on what the bad headshot is. There are parts where you get your head literally ripped off, too. Moments of pure head ripping.
I was gonna say that the main reason I didn't go for the Callisto Protocol, even though I'm still fairly early on in the game, I guess somewhat, was because I blew off enemies' heads and then they still came attacking at me. So I was like, you know what? I wish that there was more opportunity where the headshots counted without me wasting ammo.
I appreciate
Have you
that
never
energy,
played Dead
Denny.
Space, Denny? That game.
Yeah, but this isn't Dead Space. This is Callisto Protocol.
That is
I cut off the limbs. It's blow off their head and then watch them come at you anyway. So that's why I didn't get my nomination this time. But maybe it changes, like TJ says later on. You can blow up more of that with some explosive bullets.
Who does get your nomination, Denny?
I went with Prodeus because I watched some of that gameplay after seeing what David was talking about, and it looks like some satisfying headshots in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just make a quick comment on it, but I think TJ can take it from there. It's an old school style shooter in the vein of games like Doom and Quake, and they know the grisly satisfaction of a good headshot in that game, and the stylized gore just adds so much to it.
It's like System Shock 1 graphics, isn't it, David? Like
it's like this weird mashup of like System Shock, Doom, and Quake, and what emerged as Prodeus, really.
Because like the enemies, like they're 3D, but they have like weird scan lines on them. It's very stylized. And they're pixelated, but you can make out just enough like for your imagination to fill in the blanks of the gore that you're creating. And like we've talked about it a little bit already. I love a good shotgun. You can rev the shotgun in Prodeus, and when you fire it into a normal enemy, if you hit them in the head, it will not only remove their head, it will remove their upper torso.
Okay, I'm watching some footage of this right now, and I can confirm that, yeah, goodbye upper part of their body.
And that's just the shotgun. Later on, you get a railgun, and that thing is fun as fuck. I am sorry for cussing, but I love that thing. It's so good.
It is like the I don't think there's been a railgun as good in an FPS since Quake 2's, even Quake 3's. Prodeus came along and was like, "Hey, Quake 2, we'll always love you," and then just kind of railgunned it off a cliff. Like it's really great design, great feedback, great sound design, aesthetics, and that headshot just it's
In
beautiful.
proper form, if you line enemies up, you can do 3 headshots with 1 bullet with the railgun.
Oh my gosh,
That's
I
a
have
lot
not
of
done that.
headshots.
That's a lot of headshots. I
That's
love it.
headshot. That's economical headshots.
That's right.
Oh man, wowie zowie. That is a lot of blood. I can appreciate that. Well, we have a few other nominations in this
have
category.
one.
Bill Lavoie.
I've left a video in our Slack channel there if anybody wants to take a look while I speak about this. And this kind of came to me, and I was struggling with this category a bit this year, and which bums me out because it's generally one of my favorite categories. I'm like Denny. Headshots in a video game are precious to me, and if I shoot something in the head and it doesn't die, I mean that's not super satisfying, but if like I hit it in the head and the head comes off and it still doesn't die, like that's just absolutely no go. That's not a headshot for me. So I would like to bring people's attention to Sniper Elite 5, which came out in 2022. And I think as soon as I say Sniper Elite, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they probably do have sick headshots." And they do. So, as everyone was mentioning all the gore and all the detail and everything about their nominations, have a look at Sniper Elite 5 with X ray vision showing things blasting apart. And to be fair, I mean, it could even make you a little queasy. That's how absolutely over the top realistic those things can get. But I think that we would be remiss if we didn't speak about Sniper Elite 5 and just how detailed and how impactful. And again, if you shoot someone in the head in Sniper Elite 5, that's the ball game. They're not going to get up and start swinging their arms at you. They're not running at you. It's not like, oh, you hit him in the head and you're going to have to hit him in the head again. Like, no, it's one shot, one kill, which is how I like my headshots. Very detailed, and I would argue also extremely satisfying the way that it's presented with the bullet cam and the X-ray cam.
Yeah, it's like the perfect mashup of FPS and Mortal Kombat's X-ray moves. I'm
Yeah,
watching this
right.
montage. I'm watching this montage now. And it's fucking great.
I was horrified a moment ago because I struggled with this category, and then it kind of dawned on me at the last moment, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I remembered this because Sniper Elite 5 is the Sniper Elite series in general. I've always enjoyed their X-ray bullet cams across the board. Like, it doesn't obviously just apply to heads, but it applies to everything you shoot. And I think even one year a different Sniper Elite may have got a nomination for the groin shot, if I'm not mistaken.
It did.
Yeah, the Sniper Elite kills are always really cool. And I reviewed Sniper Elite 5, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like at this point in that franchise, it's gotten a little old. I feel like I've seen it before. I felt like the slow X-ray eyeball explosion was really wild, like 5 or 6 years ago, but I don't know. Didn't do much for me this time around.
What could they do to impress you?
Hey, I don't know. I don't make the games. I just play them.
Okay.
But,
I just don't know, like, if you're going in that direction as that game realistic, I'm not sure what they would do. Like, you know.
I think it's an interesting point though. Like maybe with the Sniper Elite 5 headshots are interesting because like this montage is a perfect example, Bill. It's like this perfect combination of realism but some stylization with the the X-rays. But I know that with other games, if you're not constraining, not that it's necessarily constraint, but if you're not setting out to make like a realistic headshot, if you have a game like Prodeus, you can add some stylized flair to it. You know what I mean? So it might come down to personal preference in that regard. But
You know what?
I like the guy with the helmet. Like I was looking at it like, okay, is he gonna be able to shoot through the helmet? But then he shot like through the jaw and the helmet went flying off. I like that.
Also, these are Nazis that you're shooting in the head in this game, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Point Sniper Elite 5.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. I'm gonna. Okay, Bill. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Let's see. And I am honestly this category. I am here to be persuaded, people. I was, I thought about this a lot, and honestly, I almost picked Ozzy's nomination, so I'm more than happy to speak to it. Ozzy picked Splatoon 3. The weapons in Splatoon 3 are so satisfying in so many different ways. There is a sniper rifle. I'm not a sniper type of character, but the fact that I can pick up a giant paint roller and crush my enemies with it, and that if I build up my special meter on that paintbrush, I can shoot like basically heat-seeking missiles at them, is a pretty cool testament to just how crazy and kooky and unique the like splats are, or whatever kills in Splatoon 3. In finding that right weapon, finding the one that works for you is such a like aha moment in that game. That kind of once you figure it out, you don't really switch things up too much. Like you might try something new here and there, but you kind of find the tool that works for you, and then you really start having some fun.
Out of all the headshots that we've listed in this category so far, Splatoon 3's headshot is the most earned, not given. Like using the splatter scope class of weapons in that game is not an easy thing to do, and I have wholehearted respect for people that can do it well, because that is a mean weapon in the right hands.
Even outside of like a precision weapon like that, Splatoon 3's headshots, it's not just like one shot, one kill, but if you can manage to nail those critical hits in the head, you get that sound feedback where it's like, you're getting these critical hits, you get this like maximum damage against your opponent. And I think that sort of is a boon for a game with headshots in it as well. It's not just that final kill that counts, it's the lead up to that as you're shooting the head.
I would also add, and I'm not trying to dismiss an argument, but having to account for bullet drop and wind, and the tilt of the earth is also not an earned headshot from Sniper Elite 5.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair, but you wouldn't give that game to a child.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, a lot of the games
I
in this
wouldn't.
category,
Somebody might, but I don't associate with those folk.
I mean, just be like, "Here, son. Well, I don't know. Teaching kids to snipe Nazis early on might not be the worst thing ever, but I digress. We have a lot of satisfying headshots here, Bill, and yeah, I think each one brings something unique. It's its own take on this. But wait, Bill, did you change? So you changed yours, right?
I did.
So we don't got to worry about
No.
Forbidden West in here. Okay,
No.
Perfect. All right, sorry, Forbidden West. Hey there, Morgan. We're about to vote on best headshot. The nominations are the Callisto Protocol, Sniper Elite 5, the Callisto Protocol again, nope. Prodeus, and Splatoon 3. Is that it? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything.
I don't think so. No.
Nope. Okay. Start with you, TJ.
Inflation is a problem these days. The cost of everything is going up, and Prodeus is out here giving us multiple headshots for one bullet, and I just got to respect that.
I feel that. I feel where you're coming from. Morgan.
The protocol, but you know what? TJ has swayed me. I'll go with Proteus.
Okay.
Multiple bullets, multiple headshots with one bullet. That, like that.
That sells. That's literally more bang for your bullet, right there. Bill Lavoie.
I'm gonna go Sniper Elite 5. Yeah. That's all. Sniper Elite 5.
Sniper Elite 5. Sam.
As much as I want to side with Bill here with Sniper Elite 5, I think that with our background of Quake and Doom, I think it would be against my better judgment to not go for Prodeus. Because if a game with just the starting pistol can have a headshot as satisfying as that, sign me up.
I feel you on that, man. I'm actually a little conflicted here because Sniper Elite 5 is all about shooting Nazis in the head, and you get to see their brains explode. Proteus is like it's the opposite end of the spectrum here, right? You have hyper realistic versus like retro over the top, like buckets of blood exploding everywhere anytime you shoot something, hyper violence. Man, oh man, I have to pass for now. I have to think about this one and put all the pressure on Steve.
Thank you. The video that Bill posted convinced me to go to Sniper Elite. Thought that was pretty good showing.
All right, David Elcratic.
I gotta stick with Proteus as much as the Sniper Elite video impressed me. My heart beats for that style of FPS.
Denny.
I'm gonna go with Sniper Elite. Gives me some solid Wanted vibes.
Nice. All right, Donovan.
The Callisto Protocol.
Okay. Greg.
Splatoon 3.
Greg votes for Splatoon 3, as does Ozzy. And let's see what Asif's vote went to. Asif voted for the Callisto Protocol. Ooh. You know what? I'm making. I think we got all the votes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's voted.
Check Ozzy's vote to see what he's doing.
Ozzy voted for Splatoon 3.
Okay.
Which means we have a tie. As I vote for Sniper Elite 5. No, I voted for Sniper Elite 5.
Okay.
Which brings us, it's now between Proteus and Sniper Elite 5. So if you voted for Splatoon 3 or you voted for the Callisto Protocol, you're gonna have to switch your vote.
Greg,
so Greg,
just think. One day there could be a rocket jump about Proteus, Greg.
Oh, after looking at footage, I can't hear any of the sound effects. But after looking at footage, I have to do Proteus just because it seems like it's the less hyper realistic of the two. And like I said, I have a thing about like hyper realistic autonomically correct violence and a nephew. And long story, but yeah,
I'll
that's
vote for
Proteus.
Vote for Proteus too.
All right. Well, with the revote, Proteus wins best headshot of 2022 here at Shacknews. Very appropriate W. This is a classic game right up our alley, and you really can't deny the awesome blood and guts and gore.